Hello, I'm Mark Lloydbottom, and I'd like to spend some time with you looking at the importance of delivering outstanding client service. Outstanding client service was the subject of the book I wrote with my American colleague Dave Cottle called Clients for Life. That book was published by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Scotland. In it, I talk about the iceberg of time. Now, if you look at an iceberg, well, the fact is that you're really only looking at about 15% of the mass when you look at the iceberg, because 85% of the mass of an iceberg is below the ocean. And I believe that that is very similar to the proportion of the amount of time that we spend physically, eyeball to eyeball, kneecap to kneecap with our clients. If you look at your time records throughout the year, you'll probably find that you spend maybe as little as an hour with your clients. And yet the interesting thing is that whilst 85% of the mass is below the surface, when it comes to your clients, they will tell you that 80% of the value that they derive from your services is from the time when they are with you. And so that is what I call in Defining Edge visible time. And I attach a great deal of importance to spending time with clients, because ultimately delivering a professional service is about giving personal advice. Yes, there's work to be done behind the desk, but your clients need to hear you, see you, understand you, and benefit from your personal interest in them. When you drive a car, the purpose of the rear view mirror is to tell you what is behind. And it's a little bit like that with our services. I believe that 95% of the time that we spend working with clients is actually looking at their past. Last year's income for tax return purposes, last year's income for the profit and loss account and balance sheet. And yet from the client's point of view, do you know that probably as much as 95% of your clients spend their time thinking about the present and the future? Yes, only 5% is thinking about the past, maybe when there's a bad debt, a client service problem, or a customer service problem, or maybe when the accountant comes calling. You see, if we can spend more time talking to the client about the currency of their life as it is at the present, and if we can spend more time talking about their future, then we have a captive audience. There is power in talking to clients about the present and their future. And yet, you know, very often we're reluctant to get involved in talking about the future. Why? Well, the fact is that anything to do with the future involves guessing. Guessing involves risk, and we accountants can be and tend to be risk averse. You see, I'm stood right now by a river. At some point in time it rained and the water went down the mountain. The water never travels up. That's a simple law of physics. You see, what we learn from the rain is that as it falls onto the mountainside, water down the path of a mountain always follows the path of least resistance. And so it is with us as accountants. The path of least resistance is doing our compliance work. We want more clients for whom we can do the audit, the accounts and the tax. And yet what we really want to do is to step up our service and really power into those areas where our clients need help. When did you last go to the dentist? Well, at the end of your dental treatment, can you remember what happened as you walked through reception? Did the receptionist stop and say, there's a couple of things I'd like to ask you. Now, you know the first one that's coming, and that is they want to be paid. So the dentist, your fellow professional, has approximately 15 to 30 minutes locked up. That is debtors and work in progress. They have a very quick way of being paid. We'll talk more about lockup later on. And so the second thing they ask is, I'd like to make the next appointment. Now, most dentists in England make appointments probably 6 months ahead. So let's just say it's now June. So you make an appointment for December. At the same time, you take a sneaky little look into your client's, into your dentist's calendar and find out that 70% of his time in September is already sold. Let me ask you this. Go to your own calendar and find out how many appointments you have in 3 to 4 months' time. You see, this is what we learn from the dentist. The dentist's receptionist learns to use this meeting as a reason for setting the next meeting. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to segment your clients. There's different ways of doing it. I tend to be fairly simple. A clients are your really big clients. They pay you the most in fees. They've got the highest level of income. They're in your niche industry, or maybe they've got the largest asset value in their balance sheet, or maybe they recommend you all the time. You will know how to identify your A clients. Your C clients are those for whom you've probably got no real plan to actually meet with them during the year. And so the rump of your clients fall into the B category. And my question is, how often should you meet with those clients? Well, I believe it's important to meet with clients before their year end. Now, you will know that you meet with clients before the year end to talk about tax planning or planning the preparation of their financial statements. The other reason you're going to meet with your client before the year end is to ask this question. What does next year look like? Has the client prepared a budgeted forecast, cash flow, profit forecast? In other words, you're taking an endeavour to use a compliance meeting to take a step into the future. And we talk in defining edge about what you should do with client meetings after the year end. And what this leads up to is creating a proactive plan and targeting the number of face-to-face, eyeball-to-eyeball meetings that you are going to hold with your clients. You're going to add value that can be paid for, and you're going to have more opportunity to deliver the services that really add value to the clients, that has them so enthusiastic that they want to come back for more. You see, it's my belief that in the future we're going to be offering more of the same but being rewarded less. Getting into value added, or as I call them, extension services, will enable you to keep your clients so that they become great advocates for your firm. Are you interested in outstanding client service? Well, come with me in the journey in defining edge and find out much more about what you can do to make your life more interesting, your client's life more interesting, and your staff knowing that they're working with a firm who are totally committed to outstanding client service.